What's up, guys? Eli here, back for another album review today. We're going to be talking about the newest album from The Last of Lucy with their new full-length Moksha. Now, I will preface this by saying I've decided to do these reviews for Transcending Obscurity Records. No, they didn't ask me to, but they do send me promos. They appreciate that I did. So I've been kind of battling back and forth inside my head. What should I do? Should I listen to the albums and only review the ones that I like? Or should I review them all, even the ones that I don't like? Because, face it, every good label is going to have albums that, some people just aren't going to like. And I'm kind of already encountering that with Transcending Obscurity. Lots and lots of good stuff, but they are trying to appeal to different crowds, and there's some stuff that I don't like. So you will notice, and I'll just say right now, this album isn't my cup of tea. This band isn't my cup of tea. But I did listen to it like 4 or 5 times, and I wanted to try and give it an honest review, and it's kind of a nice experiment in reviewing something objectively, and that's kind of what I'm doing. So, anyways, I had never heard of this band before. I don't know about you guys. I don't listen to this kind of music. The Last of Lucy are I guess you could call them like a tech death band. They formerly, I haven't listened to any of their back catalog. They formerly were like a mathcore band. You could definitely hear that in their sound. Now they're considered technical death metal, and I guess I would agree with that. Although they're definitely more, I would more call them technical deathcore. Sure, there's some death metal in here, but yeah, technical death metal, technical deathcore, whatever you call it that. These are a band from Huntington Beach, California. They started around 2007. This is their second full length. And yeah, right from the start, I'm putting this thing on, and what I'm hoping for is all I knew is that they were technical death metal, which is a genre that I don't completely not like. So I was kind of hoping, I was kind of excited to hear something new and fresh. Or even if it's going to be something like I've heard before, maybe it'll re-interest me, because I do like stuff like Cynic Focus and, all the Atheist albums, the more technical death albums, the Pestilence Spheres. I like stuff like that. I don't listen to it as often, but I do like it. So I was kind of hoping for something along the lines of that. And honestly, I guess you could say I was a little disappointed because that's not really what you're getting here. This is more along the lines of, of deathcore. So right from the start, let's just get past the elephant in the room. What is up with the name? I hate it. I don't know if it's supposed to be. It's probably a reference that I'm not getting, and if any fans of the band would see this, they might be like, "You dumb motherfucker," and that's okay, I guess. I could have researched it, and I didn't. Having done no research and not getting the reference, I hate the name. I love death metal and stuff like that. Just doesn't really belong in death metal as far as I'm concerned. So the name I don't like. The artwork is fantastic. I'm sure that Transcending Obscurity, as is done with historically most labels, the label the label writes the check for the album art. So I feel I've been looking at different cover arts from this label, and I feel like it's one of those things. And historically, many labels have done this, where they kind of have their go-to artists. Because the artwork is almost always phenomenal with this label. So our artwork is very cool. Band name sucks, in my opinion. I turn the album on, and right from the start, you get these high kind of metalcore sounding screams. Not they definitely sound extreme. They sound. I guess I would compare it to maybe the Black Dahlia Murder, who I'm also not a fan of. Those kind of vocals, you're kind of getting that, but it does alternate. And it does alternate with deeper, more death metal sounding vocals. And I assumed, okay, there must be 2 singers in this band, or two guys that do vocals, a vocalist and then a guitarist that also does some vocals. I looked around; it appears to be one guy, so he is got quite the iron lungs, I would say. And another thing that I don't like, and I've heard very little deathcore in the past. Let's just get that out there. So one thing I don't like about deathcore is it seems like the singer is just doing vocals all the time. There are vocals throughout, and there are almost no times where he takes a rest, which you'd think would be impossible. I hate that. There are no, like, no matter what the guitarists are doing, maybe they're doing some atmospheric sections, maybe they're playing solos, the fucking singer is just on through the whole thing, and that's kind of what you get here. Let it rest. I mean, you guys are talented musicians. Let the, have the singer stop for 30 seconds and you guys can do some cool atmospheric passages. In my opinion, that's, I'm not a good critic on this type of music. This is just what I'm going off. And I am trying to be objective. I'm trying to kind of combine my personal tastes with, trying to listen to it as an outsider as well. So, yeah, the high screams I don't like. The deep growls are okay. Too many vocals. And that's kind of what you get on the first song. There's lots of noodly technical riffs, which are not bad. The second song kind of brings in like these, I guess what you would expect, and I like it. Brings in these sci-fi keyboards that really kind of give this album, kind of a sci-fi-ish atmosphere. They're not the first band to do it, but it's a cool sound. And honestly, I kind of expected those keyboards to be more dominant on the album, and they're really not. They do appear frequently, but they don't stay very long, and yeah, they aren't as in the forefront as I would have expected, and I would have liked it. But so the keyboards I think could have been used a little bit more, just for those atmospheric washes that you get with a lot of other death metal bands that use keyboards. I'm just kind of looking at my notes here. I did listen to this, like 4 or 5 times, but yeah, the technical riffs that I mentioned earlier, they do kind of, at times, they kind of remind me of something you'd hear on like an older Dillinger Escape Plan record. So if that's your thing, again, it's not mine, but I don't hate it. That is a thing that you kind of get here as well. I mean, it wouldn't be weird for a band like this to be maybe influenced by the Dillinger Escape Plan. Not weird at all. Not even the slightest. Those riffs are pretty cool. Yeah, one thing that I will say, okay, overall, I think I've pretty much said all I'm going to say about this album. I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would, but I also didn't like it as much as I hoped I would. It's just not my thing, but I wanted to review it anyways. The cover art is cool. The band name obviously isn't good. Like I said, I didn't say it yet, but the album doesn't overstay its welcome. I did kind of appreciate that for someone who did listen to it 4 or 5 times. Had this been an hour plus long album, I probably would have I think I would have struggled to listen to it twice. But it's only like 30 minutes and some change. So for this kind of music, I feel like maybe I'm wrong. I feel like it's more common to have longer albums than that. But it's literally like under 32 minutes or something like that. So I guess in this case, I kind of appreciated that. I'm going to go ahead and give this album, I'm going to give it I've been going back and forth on what kind of score I should give it. I find scoring albums really, really weird, and it's a new concept to me. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. Just going off my personal tastes alone, I would have scored it much lower. But I'm trying to look at it objectively, and just saying this is a bad album just because it's not my cup of tea is not right. So I think there are a lot of things here that they do really, really well, and it will appeal to people that like this kind of thing. So 2.5 out of me. For me, I feel like that's a little bit generous. For someone that likes this kind of music, I feel like they would think I'm probably doing this a disservice. So if there are any fans that stumble upon this, let me know what you think. Let me know where you think I'm wrong, or that whether I'm right or wrong doesn't really matter. That's an objective thing. But let me know how you feel about the band and how you feel about the album. I'd be really interested in hearing that. So, anyways, I have another review I'm going to start working on now. I haven't started listening to the album yet. I think I'm going to start doing like one of these either every week or every 2 weeks, but we'll see. I don't want to burn out. I don't want to just feel obligated to listen to music. For me, listening to music is just because I want to. And I want to listen to things just randomly. I don't want to have an agenda. I don't want it to feel like... I don't want to listen to things because I feel like I have to. So maybe I'll only do one a month. But I am so far kind of enjoying it. But I need to let it breathe. So anyways, yeah. Any fans of Lass of Lucy, talk to me. even if you're not a fan of the band. Again, I've been saying this. I do plan on doing more of these reviews, so if there are anything you think I could improve on, feel free to leave feedback. I won't be hurt. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I think it'd be beneficial. If I'm going to do this, I might as well do it as well as I can. Anyways, Louis says hello. He's back there. And thanks for stopping by, guys. We'll talk soon. Cheers.